Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. I'm back with Zeo. Apologies for being slightly late. My computer's just going crazy. I feel like the gods have just been telling me today my stream was constantly going on and off. Now I can't even properly do my video, like Zeo's flashing on and off. My comments kind of overlapping, so bear with me. But yeah, we made it. But I feel like, the gods are basically telling me just to give up on United for today because it's been a crazy one. But Zeo, as always, thank you so much for joining me. And how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. And I would expect to be more angry, but I'm not even that angry. I feel all right, and pleasure to be on. Always enjoy coming on.
So I'm angry even before anything else, just because I couldn't properly watch the game. How is it you can pay like for Sky, BT, Amazon, everything? Like I spend so much a month and I can't even watch my team play football. Like it infuriates me. And then I'll be in America and it's literally every game is on normal TV. You can just watch.
That's what I was going to say to you. That's only for England. The main place where your team is, where we all watch football, it's only England that's happening, because foreign countries, they've got it, that it's on. Crazy.
It's a joke though, because beforehand we were like, oh, they're putting Southampton on ahead of Man United and Villa. What the hell? Now I can understand why, because we were dreadful. And to be fair, Newcastle, I think, just absolutely better Southampton.
You think we were dreadful?
You know, I think, well, I was live earlier on ECL doing my normal FIFA stream, and obviously the team was released at the end of my stream, so we went through it. And when I saw the team, I mean, I already had an England feeling anyway, because obviously Emery's first game. One, I hate playing against Emery, but two, you know what it's like when it's the first game at home. The fans are going to be up for it. Obviously, the players are going to want to impress him, so the players are going to be up for it. And I just had a feeling. Of course, I never bet against United. I said 2-1 on my stream because I never bet against us. But you know, when you just have them ones where you just... Nothing feels right today. The fact that obviously we didn't have key players like Bruno in there as well. Anthony, I feel like he's another player that we massively lack in our team. And I think it does show that strength in depth. We still don't quite have it. Yes, we are better than we have been, but we're still lacking in that department. When certain players are out, we haven't got quality to step in. And also, we'll talk more about them players. But beforehand, look, I think them 2 early goals just kind of...
Shell-shocked us.
They were shell-shocked. But for me, it just kind of just solidified the thoughts I'd already been having anyway. Like, I felt like it was going to be one of them kind of games. So I was hoping it wasn't. I was hoping that we are different. But it just felt like last season again all over for me, where we just concede early goals. Or even, like, you look at early this season, like, when we concede early goals, we just struggle to kind of get back into it. But
right,
you have to give credit to Villa. I mean, they were out the blocks as you would expect them to be with a new manager, of course. Scoring that free kick. Both goals, let's be honest, were avoidable. But it is what it is. It happens. But yeah, I tweeted it just saying, look, it's one of them days where you're always going to have them. Today, like I say, I was having a feeling we're going to have one of them days today, just because of everything just seemed pulled up against us today. Yeah. And that's no excuses. We weren't good enough. They wanted it more than us. You can see they were sharper into tackles, but I do think them 2 early goals shell-shocked us a bit. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, Zio? Look, where you said you weren't as angry as you thought you would be. Why is that?
Normally I feel like we used to get battered, and it'd be like, I can't see where we're going. We're not improving. We just get battered each week. We're conceding early goals. No one looks like they're trying. And I didn't feel like that today. I feel like they were shell-shocked, and it was like, oh my God, what's happened? There were some mistakes. It's like, oh my God, what's happened? But I didn't feel like they really gave up. And I didn't, like, when it got to 2-1, I thought, I was on the phone to my cousin. I said, oh, I'm not scared anymore. I feel like we're going to come back. And I know we didn't. But the fact that I felt like that, I feel like our team's massively improved, and I think we're a good team. And we just, it was unfortunate today. It was one of those days, like you said, and we didn't have. I think Bruno is just integral to us, even when you feel like he's annoying and he's not doing well. I feel like we don't do well without him on the pitch. So I just think it didn't annoy me like last season, where I was just looking at this team thinking, none of you lot care.
I don't think it was a case of not caring.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a case of not caring. I just think it was a case of game's already done when they scored 2, really. Obviously, we got a lucky goal to get back into it. And then conceding again, shell-shocked, start second half, conceding straight away again, kind of knocked our spirit. Like, realistically, we weren't getting back into that game. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. I love the Villa. I've got to point you out, because you're always and I did say to you on the stream the other day, I said, I've got a feeling you're going to beat us. And you're like, no, you're not going to do it. There you go. You've done it. And congrats to you, obviously. Like I say, deserved the win. But yeah, I thought Villa... under Emery, new manager, they're going to want to impress him, and obviously they did that. They were at the blocks, and we just weren't prepared for that.
They
like,
had great spurts. They had some sick spurts. Some of their attacks were like, "Yo, this is smooth." Like they had some great spurts, and I feel like they could have beat most teams today, but we wasn't good enough. But I just don't feel like Martinez was battering people. Like, do you get what I mean? And I just felt like, yeah, batter them, like get mad, try and hurt them and stuff like that. Ronaldo was fighting thingy. Fair enough, he started on him first, but still, it didn't feel like the United, like, oh, we've conceded, let's just put our heads down. It didn't feel like that for me personally. I don't know if I was looking at it different.
So now you're right. And look, I was just about to talk about obviously the little elbow from Martinez. To be fair, he was looking to stand the pitch after that. I saw it in the replay. I was like, oh, actually, he has had a little wipe at him. At first, I thought, no, he's just shielding him off. But no, he did have a full-on elbow. But I can kind of, I'm not justifying what he did, of course, but I can understand his frustration, Martinez. And again, that shows that the players want, like, you've got to have that nasty side to you. Do you know what I mean? They're not happy with, they're not just going to back down and accept it. Do you know what I mean? There was that fighting spirit there, that bit of nastiness.
Last season we did.
And, yeah, exactly. We didn't like bow over and just give up. And even at the end, Ronaldo, Martial put a little ball into him, and normally he'd be flailing his arms around. He didn't. He turned around and he like, appreciated the effort. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like United of old where we've given up and we get on each other's back, stuff like that. It's just one of them where it just wasn't our day. We can't dwell on it too much. The only concern I have is we don't really look like scoring, and we saw it in the week as well. Like, and I said it then, like, for me, like, if we were at it, Sociedad were there for the taking, we could have scored more than one goal against them, 100%. But we just, I don't know, lacking that conviction going forward. So I'm hoping Martial coming back will help us. And Anthony, a lot of people talk about spin and that, but I don't care what anybody says. When he's not playing, we lack that creativity. Like, he gives us something different. We've got that natural width within there. I just feel like going forwards, any three of our, I know Garnacho ended up coming off, but any of them could have come off because we just didn't look dangerous going forwards. He gets that final third and the decision making or the final ball, we're just not at it. And this isn't the first game that's happened.
I think it was Delo as well. That was like, for me, he was clean through. I know he was wide, but I was thinking, just shoot, man. Why are you pulling that back? Like, just shoot. And it's a bit weird decision making in the box. There was a bit of weird decision making. And and I think we are suffering through it. I feel like we are getting chances, but they're not making the right choices. And when Ronaldo gets it, it's always shooting. When someone else gets it, they're looking for Ronaldo, or someone's always shooting from wide, or like that Delo chance. I just thought, why did you pull that back? But I just feel like I can see where we're going properly. I feel like we are going somewhere. I feel like if the Glazers, which they probably won't, back the manager and he gets a couple more players that he wants, I'm really excited for what the team can do. And I feel like he's doing well now. Because he got given an absolute mess of a team, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. To the point where some fans think we're back. I don't think we're back, but I can see why some fans feel like we are, because it's like it's not a mess of a team no more. There's something to be excited about. And when the team got released today, it was kind of a bit like, oh, where's Anthony? Where Bruno can't play? But still, it felt like Garnacho playing. Like, I'm so happy that he's getting his chance as well, and. It just felt good. It felt good, even though we lost. It was a weird feeling for me. I
think it's like a wake-up call, because obviously you said that we are doing well under Ten Hag, we are improved. But we said before Ten Hag even got to United, we were saying, like, when he was announced, I remember us having a conversation saying, look, it's not a quick fix. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to come in and everything's fixed. Do you know what I mean? And I think today is a bit of a wake-up call, putting us back into that perspective where actually, yes, we are improving, but we've still had these frailties. If someone gets injured, look at our bench. Like today off the bench, we had Martial, who's not fully fit. And then we had Elanga, we had Pellistri, Maguire, if we want to bring him on and put him up front again, like we didn't, you know what I mean? Like, realistically, like, we are still lacking that squad depth, and I think that's shown massively today when we've got personnel like Bruno out. And I know we talk about Donny a lot, but I have to be honest here. For me, Donny, he just isn't good enough. He's so passive, especially to be in that 10 where you want somebody on. I know Bruno can be infuriating because he gives it away a lot, but at least he's going and getting the ball. He's grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, he's putting himself about. Donny just seems to let the game pass him by a lot of the time.
Right.
And that's the frustrating thing for me. And I don't want to write him off. I was about to say, it could be confidence. Maybe all of that last season where he just wasn't being given game time. He went out on Everton. Maybe that's completely crushed him, which is understandable. I get it. But whenever he is being given a chance, and today was his best chance, I do believe, from the start, without Bruno even being in the squad. So he had some time to settle. And we didn't get off to the best start. Probably not the best game to judge him in. But even so, when he had his little touches, like for me, like he passes backwards and sideways too much. I want a bit more creativity in that middle. Do you know what I mean? Right. And I just don't feel like Donny gives us that. Again, I don't want to be too negative and write him off, but every chance that he has been given, for me, he hasn't taken it. And today was another example of that. But he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one who was poor. So I'm not going to throw it all on Donny. I've seen people like tweet about Eriksen and individuals. Look, today collectively we simply just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a few changes and whatnot. But regardless of the changes, we've still got a quality squad. Let's not, you know what I mean? Let's not beat around the bush. We've got a good squad, but we just weren't good enough. And you have to give credit to Villa, like I say, new manager. They wanted to impress him. They rate the blocks and they were just shell shocked from the start. And I think that's all I would say about it. I think
and
it's
we
good for what he's saying.
We need to remember if we would have won that, we would have been joint third, man. This is his first season. He's just come in. We were like, give him time. He could come fifth. Give him time. If we won that, would have been joint third. He didn't win.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see what he does in the next game because he's doing well overall. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And I think in January, hopefully, if we can sign, I know there's a lot of talk about it back up, right back and whatnot as well, but I think today just showed that in every position we need to have quality players and we just haven't.
I think we need a forward, man. I think we need a forward.
I
think Martial's going to be injured. I wish it could be Martial, but I just think he's going to be injured and I just think Ronaldo's not our forward.
Yeah. And you made a good point saying everyone seems to be looking to pass to Ronaldo, and I do think that is often the case as well. Like swinging hopeful balls into the box and just hoping that he can make something of it. And you can't play like that. That's not sustainable, is it? You might get the odd goal like that, but teams, especially where you got players like Mings who are quite nasty players, you know what I mean? They're going to be at Ronaldo constantly. Like that's just not. We're not having any joy from that. And that's why I got a bit excited when I've seen Rashford seem to be adding that heading into his game. Like gives him something a bit different. We can aim for someone else because realistically, we're crossing it into who? When Ronaldo's not playing, who are we crossing it into? So I'm happy about that. But yeah, it's small steps, isn't it? I think today, like I say, it's a reality check. It just shows us where we are truly at. I do think we're still a bit predictable at times. The midfield was way too open at times as well. I mean, for their third goal, they were queuing up. Ramsey, I know, obviously ended up sticking it in top bins, but it could have been any of them players who were lining up. And I just feel like today was a wake-up call for us. But we can't dwell on it too long. Do you know what I mean? We know what it's like now in the media and all over Twitter. You know, rival fans are going to talk about it because it's United, but we just need to brush ourselves off. We're playing Villa again. I know it's in the cup, but we're playing on Thursday. Let's see if we can get some revenge then and hopefully get a few players back as well. But yeah, it is what it is. That was a bit bizarre, the wrestling between Mings and Ronaldo. I don't know what was going on there. And then we're just shaking hands afterwards and they were nice surprise. But yeah, I think I feel a bit flat after it, I'd say. But I'm not too shocked because if people, I know there'll be people in the chat who were on my ECL stream earlier. And when I read the team out, like I remember just being like, oh, and looked at the bench and I was like, yeah, Villa are going to be looking at this and they're going to be up for it. If they weren't up for it anyway, we're having Emery in charge, they're going to be up for it.
Yeah.
And they were. But I think the thing that makes it worse for me is the fact that Arsenal won just before.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they're stressing me out, man.
Me too.
Well, I get you feeling flat. I get you feeling flat, but you don't feel like, oh, I'm not enjoying watching Man United. Do you get what I mean? That's what people were saying last season. Last season, people were saying, I don't enjoy. Like, why am I watching this team? It's depressing me. Where that, you're just like, oh, I'm upset by that. Bring on the next game. Yeah. That shows that there's positives and we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, we are going in the right direction. It is what it is. And like I said, but Ten Hag is working. Every signing that he's made has been a hit, hasn't it? But he's still working with obviously players who other managers have signed and whatnot who might not quite fit into the system and stuff as well. And yeah, like I think it's just showing us realistically where we are at. Obviously, we beat a bit like Liverpool, Arsenal, and that you get into like a full sense of optimism, don't you? But realistically, there is still that vulnerability there. I mean, Varane not being in there, like defensively, we look a bit all over the place as well. Lindelof, I'm not going to talk too much on him, but Lindelof for me, he's just not the guy. He's just not the guy.
He's not the guy. Yeah, he's not.
No.
He's not. I think that proved it today. He doesn't work with Martinez as well as other combinations do, and yeah, he's just not. He's just not there, is he? Not for Man United.
But what I will say is, I think regardless of who was in there today, I feel like it was a backs against the wall kind of thing right from the off. And yeah, I don't know. I think if Maguire plays, everyone's on Maguire's back saying he's not the guy. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's one of them games where it just didn't go right for anybody, and that's why I don't want to go and dwell on too many individuals.
But Martinez still had moments for me, and I know he did that bad foul. He still had moments for me. I was like, yes, Martinez. Lindelof is just like every time it came near him, I was like, oh, what's going on? Oh. He was stressing me every time it went near him. So Martinez I still had confidence in.
I think Lindelof would have carried on jockeying down the tunnel if he could have. Do you know what I mean? Like, how long does he want to jockey for? I'm just thinking Lindelof stop him from getting into the box now and do something. But he just keeps backing off. Like me on FIFA. The only can see the pen and just backing off. And yeah, he's probably sat by him in the dressing rooms as we speak because he just followed him all the way there as well. But he just didn't do anything. And I think that's the thing. It's a bit too passive, not aggressive enough. Watkins and players like that, obviously, and Bailey absolutely terrorised us. They are going to run at you with pacing. You just can't You need to get tighter if you're going to do that and stick a foot in, which is what Martinez does so well. But like I said, I don't want to dwell too much on that because there's many players who could single out and say they weren't good enough today. Nobody was good enough today, I think, if you look at it as a whole. But we just have to dust ourselves off and move on and give credit to the opposition. Like we say, this isn't an easy league, is it? And this can happen to anybody, and I'm sure it will happen to someone else further down the line as well. It's just anybody can beat anybody on their day. And like I say, when this came out, the news of Emery coming in, and we knew we were going to be the first team. One, it's Emery anyway, and we really hate playing against him. But two, that new manager bounce, especially for a team like Villa at home against United, like everything just seemed perfect for them just to get a result. I work directly with a Villa fan, and many of the kids that I teach are Villa fans, so I'm dreading going in tomorrow, by the way. But it is what it is. It's just football. That's why we love it and hate it at times because, and it, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. It just shows that the squad depth that we have when we have injuries, we just struggle to replace them players with quality. We do need to bounce back, I agree. And we've got Villa again in a cup. Can we bounce back there? And I know it's a cup, but of course we want to try and win something this season. And that's definitely Bailey's best performance from what I've seen, 100%. And of course it has to be against us. But it's not. Doesn't that frustrate you though, as a football fan? Oliver, I'm going to ask you and anybody else in the chat. When a new manager comes in, all of a sudden these players can play. And you're like, well, what happened before? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, same players. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's just what happens. And player power, we know, is a massive thing in football. Advantage to the teams that are not playing in Europe. No excuses. Need those scumbags to invest in signings in January. I agree. We do need to invest.
They're not going to.
Probably a right back. I can't see much more than that unless someone.
Is there anyone being mentioned? Is there any right back being mentioned?
Frimpong, I believe, was mentioned.
Right.
Other than that, I don't know.
And how does Ronaldo feel now that he started a few games? I wonder.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he still wants to leave. I hope he still wants to leave.
The thing is, who can afford him? Then that's the other position that we're in. Do you know what I mean? Like, we knew he wanted to leave, but there were no takers for him. He was literally offered around during the summer and nobody wanted him because he's just... You can't, like, it's too much money for someone of his age as well. But I don't personally think Ronaldo will leave in January. If it does, then we obviously should be looking at...
If Martial wasn't injured, he would have left in January. He would have walked out, like, he would have paid his own thingy and signed himself. Like,
I don't think he would have.
If Martial wasn't injured, Ronaldo would not have started half as many games as he started.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that, because Martial was on fire.
He would have been
Martial was on fire, wasn't he?
There's no way he would have been staying to watch from the bench.
All of a sudden, Mings and Maldini. And we scored our first free kick goal in the Prem for 2,800 days.
Oh
Crazy.
my
That's
God.
what I mean. Everything was just.
I knew they were going to score it when he ran up. I thought this would go.
My stream wasn't even on. I remember, like, I saw the foul.
Yeah.
Stream went off. Got it back on, and they're literally
goal.
celebrating, and I was like, "Oh, sound, they've scored." But yeah. Like I said, it's what the gods were telling me today, like, just don't watch Man United, just leave it away, because I could not get a stream that was just consistently on.
Yeah.
And then now my Mac's playing up when I'm trying to talk about it. It's just like, just avoid United for today, just move on. You know what I mean? But no, it's just, you know, we say we've got to bounce back against Villa in the cup. Do you think there'll be many changes because of it being a cup game as well?
Yes.
Because I think today tiredness also came into it. I think like Casemiro on that in the midfield, like I say, the midfield was open. Martinez, you could probably drag into that as well. There's so many players who've played a lot of games recently, and I just feel like that maybe has caught up with us as well. So do you expect to see changes?
You'd think so. You'd think think he shouldn't take this game as seriously as the Premier League, but who knows? Ten Hag always surprises me. Like I haven't worked him out as a manager yet. Like when I think he's going to do one thing, he does another thing. But you would think so, and then you'd think the proper bounce back would be against Fulham. And I know these players do bounce back now. They don't come out and still be crying and heads down. I know they do bounce back and think, yeah, we're better than these. We can do it. So I'm excited to see the next two games. Hopefully, there's a few more youngsters in the Villa game and we slap Fulham.
Yeah. That would be nice. Fulham's going to be a tough one as well. Obviously, they were robbed really at Man City yesterday. They were unlucky, and they didn't even have Mitrovic in that game. And that's going to be an interesting game because that's obviously the last game really before the World Cup. So it'd be interesting to see how apprehensive players are as well in them last fixtures. Do you know what I mean? You ain't going to go full on into challenges, I'd think, with the idea of I'm going to miss out on a World Cup playing for my country. Like, that's why the timing of this World Cup is just baffling me, because
Martinez and Casemiro will. Them two will go into challenges.
Yeah, no matter what, regardless. Yeah.
They'll be like, you're missing the World Cup. That's when they're going in. That's what they're doing.
That's true. That's true. That's true. All I'm hoping is tonight, obviously, well, soon, United ladies are playing against Chelsea. I don't know if you know about that, Zeo, but they are top of the league. They haven't conceded yet. So that's going to be a big game. I'm just hoping that we can have a bit of positivity from them. Because, like I said, I just feel a bit flat after that. We obviously have to contemplate and we have to think about it and what happened, what went wrong and stuff like that as professionals. I'm sure they're doing that. But I think realistically, we have to acknowledge that, look, it was their day, not our day. We move on. And I agree with Brush. I'd rather us focus on the league and give the kids a run out in the cup. And it'd be interesting to see if that happens. It'd be a breath of fresh air as well, because players are going to want to rest before that Fulham game. And I think today was evidence of that as well. I think certain players are looking really leggy. But I understand Ten Hag's problem there. How can he rest certain players when, like I say, when you look at that bench today, it was thin on the ground, there wasn't a lot of quality. And I'm not saying Police Dream players aren't that quality, but realistically, this kid hasn't hardly played a minute. In the cup would be a good time to play him. But you're not really going to risk him in a game like this when he hasn't really featured too much. So, yeah.
And there's players he knows that he can't trust as well. He knows he can't trust some of the other players as well. So, it's tough for him. It's tough for him. Yeah. And that's how it's going to be until he gets his signings.
We mentioned a bit players who could possibly leave in January. Wan-Bissaka's another one I think you has to go.
Oh yeah. He's not playing. Career. He's not playing again. Really easy. He ain't playing
unless he plays in the cup and we rest low. But
is that what Wan-Bissaka wants for himself?
Brandon Williams and players like that though as well. Do you know what I mean? Wan-Bissaka is going to want to play regular football, and I could see him go back to Palace because I know that they're linked with him. So if
depends what the Glazers want for him, though, innit?
Yeah, true. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a loan into the end of the season and then potentially option to buy at the end of that. I just think we're going to want to give him game time and get rid for a bit because he just ain't playing. Yeah. And it's not even. I know he's had injuries and whatnot, but realistically, Ten Hag's made it clear with his comments about right back and needing strength in areas and stuff like that. Wan-Bissaka just isn't in his plan, so I think that's another one who will go. Now Ronaldo should never play again. We're always playing with 10 men with him.
That's a bit harsh.
Look,
even though I don't want Ronaldo to play for United, that's a bit harsh. He's not a I forget. You speak.
I get the frustration around Ronaldo because he's not the Ronaldo that he once was. But realistically, today there was nobody who played well. And yes, Ronaldo was one of them players who just didn't play well, and he hasn't. But I get it. But like I say, what option did Ten Hag have? Martial, I know he's been back to training, but realistically, he obviously isn't fully fit.
I wouldn't even have put Martial on the pitch. I'd have been like, mate, you're watching for 3 games in a row. Bro, you ain't playing
Martial.
but you're not even warming up. He gets injured in warm-ups, man.
I just think the servicing to him has been dreadful with Ronaldo as well because we are just doing them hopeful balls. We just I'll pick it up to Mill, makes it happen. It doesn't work like that. And I'm not defending Ronaldo. Like I say, he's also one of the players who just weren't good enough. But I think collectively we can focus on individuals or there's plenty of them that we can look at. I can't even think of a standout player who I think actually played well today. Do you know what I mean? I can't think of anybody that I'd say, you talk about individuals who've been negative. Can we think of any positives? And I genuinely can't. I'm happy Garnacho started. I'm not criticising that. But realistically, we struggled. We struggled massively. And I do think those 2 early goals obviously killed us a bit. We got a lucky goal to get back into it, but then there's sucker punch straight away in the second half. And again, it kind of kills that optimism that we did have from that goal just before the break. And it is what it is. I did see one tweet which cracked me up when I keep talking about streams, and I forgot who it was. And I apologise if you're in the chat if I saw your tweet, but he tweeted saying, my stream's all right, it's just a little bit behind. # Ollie out. And that cracked me up. I was just I was like, that's how I'm feeling right now.
That is a sick tweet. That is sick.
But so many people reply saying, you need to try this stream, really serious answers. I'm like, do you get it? You don't get it. That cracked me up anyway. That put a smile on my face. Bruno needs to realise that his discipline needs to improve. He's picked up so many silly yellow cards this season. Yeah, and obviously being suspended and whatnot. But Donny, for me, has to do more. And like I say, he's not the only one today, but in general, Donny just hasn't impressed me. And we've all been rooting for him. I remember on this channel so many times, we've been like, give him a chance. We've been rooting for him. But he
still hasn't had the chance, though, has he?
No, well, hasn't he?
How much has he played?
Yeah, but how much can Ten Hag keep playing him if he's just going to keep having these passive
in this position now, it's a bit peak.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because you got Casemiro, you got Eriksen, you got Bruno. So it's like, Donny, I ain't really got space to put you in to give you your chance. I can't play you 4 games in a row because I have to take out one of them. but he hasn't really been given his chance. Two games, not even full games, is not really a chance when your confidence has been knocked for a whole season. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So I was laughing at that comment from all of the Villa. Ronaldo told me he's going to take a shower, and I told him he didn't need one as he's already washed. Emery knows how to play against Europa League sides. He knows how to play against United as well. That individual was using a dial-up internet. Oh, I felt so old at work the other day. I was reading a story with some of the kids, and I think it was on about like internet or something. I can't remember. And I was trying to explain to the kids how I used to have to connect my one computer in the whole house that was in the corner of the living room, and I used to connect to it on dial-up, like to go on MSN and that. And I was trying to tell them, and I played them the dial-up tone on YouTube, and they were like, "What the hell's this?" Like, and I felt so old. I was like, I feel the wrinkles coming just as I'm telling you this story. Like, I just
Did yours used to cut off? Did yours used to cut off if someone rang the phone, or if someone rang the phone? Yeah. You'd be like, what's happened to my MSN? Yeah. I'd be like, what's happened to my MSN? It's not working. Then the phone would go ring, ring. I'm like, oh God. Then my mum would pick it up and I'd be like, oh Mum, when are you coming off the phone?
I got important nudges to send.
Yo, I've left a girl in a message, half a message like, Mum, I need to get back on.
Yeah, those were the days, but I felt so old talking about that. But yeah, that's kind of like what my stream was like today. Like I was on dial-up, or I don't even know. It was just, yeah. I just can't get my head around why we don't just let people just buy like a pass and get all games for
like MUFC, Man United TV, and then you get all the Man United games.
I don't understand it.
It's
on the bright side, guys,
money bidding TV rights.
Yeah, only a few games left before we know it. It'll be Jan. It'll just be hope for some activity in the market. We're just going to be depressed by England in the World Cup.
We're going to be so sad. We're going to be so sad.
No, I'm not going to be sad. My mum used to yell at me to get off the net so you can make a call. I haven't yet, Connor, but I will. I haven't forgotten about it. Don't you worry.
What is that?
Forgotten about it. So Connor basically compared their downfall to United. And he said I need to watch it. I don't obviously watch.
What are they? Who are they? What are they?
Connor, put a message in to explain to Zeo what you were saying the other day.
What is it like?
So he sent me like a video which summarises their downfall. And he said, does it not remind you of United? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And he showed me the video to watch it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Wings. What does that sound like? Not a hockey team. It sounds like a baseball team. Yeah, is it a baseball team?
I think it's hockey, I think.
Is it hockey? I got right first time.
Yeah. Come to America, Soph. You'll get all the games. Even I wish I could. My brother goes to America on Thursday. I'm well jealous. It's my favourite place in the world. And my stream.
Your brother goes to America on Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Jealous. I thought you said Thursdays. I was like, what?
Oh, every Thursday. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Imagine that just for a day. My stream today has consisted of Emmy Martinez having the ball on my screen with Leon Bailey scoring. Yeah, and him doing is he heading the ball like that for, man? I wanted Martinez to come and fly kick him when he was doing that. I was thinking, what are you doing? Did you see? I hate Martinez the goalie so much. Like literally, the ball bounced up and he started like heading it on his head, like doing like keepy uppies with his head, just to take the piss even more. And I was just like, someone just come and fly kicking, please. Casemiro, just come and do something. But yeah, it is what it is. They were better than us. We move on. We talk about dial-up now. That's how bad it's got. I could do with some wings. And Zeo, the Detroit Red Wings are an ice hockey team in the NHL. So he's on about their downfall in the NHL, and he said it compares to United. And I need to just see if that compares. Yeah. We move Villa on Thursday. Hopefully me and Zeo can get a showing in the week. That would be nice to do a little preview for that. And obviously, whether we think there'll be a rotated team or not, I'm sure we'll hear some comments from Ten Hag post-game and we'll see where we're going with that. And then Fulham on Sunday, just before the World Cup. The Fulham game is going to be a big test, which is why I think we need to rest players before it. And hopefully we can get players back. That would be nice. Brush is just contemplating getting some wings, preferably deep fried burrito though, if I was to Detroit. Yeah, I don't even know what to say after. To be fair, I can see
you like speechless. I can see you don't know how to feel.
I think it's because I saw it coming. Do you know what I mean? I feel like because I saw it coming, I'm kind of a bit like, I'm not shocked. I'm not too disappointed. I just kind of felt it was going to be one of them days, and I hate to have that feeling before a game even kicks off and feel that bit of negativity like going into it. But I just had, especially from Sociedad in the week as well, and obviously, like I say, the leggy players that you're going to have, and they're obviously going to be so fresh and obviously not had European football, and they're going to be at it.
It would have been too much gas if we won. If we won, it would have been too much gas. This stream, I would have been acting like an idiot. Like it would have been too much gas if we won. I don't want to lose ever. but we almost needed. Oh yeah, we're still trying to build something, because otherwise
Reality
it would have been
check.
like, oh my god, we could come second easily. Oh my god, we could probably catch Arsenal, because Arsenal are gonna flop it. So yeah, it's just a
I
reality
hope they do.
check. I
Big
really
win
hope
for
they
them
do.
today. I hope they do, but I have to give them credit. Like, they're a different Arsenal this year. I know we beat them, but other than that, like, they've shown that resilience. Like, they've got them important goals when they need to. They've won ugly when they've needed to. Like, you have to say that they are impressive this season. But I'm just hoping that they do have that banana skin at some point. At
Please,
half
man.
time, I definitely thought we could get back into it. Yeah, when we got that goal just before half time, me too. But the second they scored that early goal in the second half,
Yeah,
it was
it's
like,
done.
oh,
It was done.
that's it then.
Yeah.
We're done. And I think like the players sense that as well. I don't like seeing Ronaldo telling Nacho and Rashford to press while he jogs about. Just does not look good. We always
I
knew
don't
that
think he
Ronaldo
jogs
is just
about.
not
I
that
think he
pressing.
runs about. But I don't like seeing Ronaldo bossing other players around, because I just feel like he's not good for certain players' morale. I just don't know. I don't know though, because then people say, "Oh, he's Ronaldo. He's a legend. You learn from him. You get boosted by him." But when he flowers his arms and stuff, when people do things, he didn't really do it in this game, but it sticks
He
with
was
you.
applauding the efforts
Yeah,
today. To
but
be
it
fair,
still
he was.
sticks with you. If someone, you've played football for so long, Sophie, if you must have played with someone that moans at you when you do
Yeah.
certain things. That doesn't leave you just because the next game they're being nice. Like, you still have that weird feeling towards them. And then even if you think, I'm not going to let it affect me, sometimes you're past them when you didn't even want to pass to them.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean? And I feel like Ronaldo, I just get that feeling from him, and I'm not even on the pitch. So I can't imagine how it feels to be on the pitch with him.
Yeah, I think it's time replacing now. Like, at times last season when Ronaldo was fuming, like, I got it. Like, I was thinking he has a right to be. Like, we were
Yeah.
dreadful.
Yeah.
But today, I think it was, and I think that's why he was kind of applauding today, because I don't think it was a lack of effort there.
Yeah,
like we've just said, I don't think it was that. Whereas last season, I do think it was that, his attitude and effort. I just think today it was one of them where the game was, we blink and the game's gone already. Like, we didn't have time really to adjust to that. And I think, yeah, like I say, the professional players, they realise it, and we just have to move on from it. Don't dwell on it too much and kick on. But I do think it is a reality check for us and for Ten Hag and for the team, that even though we've had some good results, this can still happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, still that vulnerability. Yeah.
Someone mentioned Shaw, and I just want to say, I actually rate Luke Shaw's attitude, because, like, this man, they keep trying to replace him. And every time someone new comes, they get in ahead of him. And then when he comes back in, the new person don't get in anymore. Like, it happened with... and now it's happened with, like, Malacia. It's like, they think, oh, yeah, we replaced Shaw now. Something happens. That player has an off day. Shaw comes back in, and it's like, nah, Shaw's the man. Like, Shaw's the man. But they'll try and replace him again. And it probably happened again. It's like he ups it and thinks, nah, you ain't replacing me. So I rate him, like... He always gets back in.
I think it'd be interesting with Luke Shaw to see after the World Cup if he still has this same form. Because is it just a way of him getting back into that World Cup team? Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or is it okay? But he has been an absolute beast, as Lord said there. He has been a beast, to be fair. But can he keep that up? Because we've seen, like you just mentioned there, he dips in form like quite drastic.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He's either amazing or he's absolutely dreadful. So it'd be interesting to see. Is it a case of
I feel like other players would drop their head. I feel like other players would drop their head if they were him. With twice in like 2 seasons, they've tried to replace me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he's just come back in and been like, no, I'm going to do the job that I need to do. And then now I'm back in the team again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I rate him.
Hopefully he can keep it up, because I do think on form, Luke Shaw is one of the best left backs in the world. I know people might laugh at me, but on form, on form, he is an absolute world beater. He is. But how often do we see him fully on form? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think some games this season you've been blown away by how good he's been, but then other games you're like, oh my god, like, what's going on? And to be the best, you have to be consistently the best, and he hasn't been. So I think it'd be interesting to see after the World Cup how his form is. Spot and curl, it's going to take time. We are very early into this process, and some of the issues can only be addressed in the market, and more than one market, let's add as well. More than one transfer window, should I say. We're a work in progress. Today highlighted that. Credit to Villa, to them, but we can't dwell on it. We need to move on and lift our heads. And I think that's all we can say, really, following that. But Zeo, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Sad that we're not smiling that we've won, but we still smile regardless because we move. But let people know when you're going to be on Twitch next and doing your stream as well, so they can come and check you out.
Zeo Leonardo on Twitch, YouTube, whatever. But I'm on Twitch tonight at 8:30. If you want your name mentioned in a song, or if you want to send a shout out for someone's birthday or anything like that, just come into the Twitch stream and comment it. Someone's just said Shaw's not even top 10 in the world. But yeah, that's where you'll find me. And thanks for having me on. Always enjoy it.
Absolutely a pleasure. I think on his day he is, Stephen. I do think on his day he is, but I am saying on his day lightly there because I'm like, it's very often, not very often we've seen him in that peak form. But I do think he is a world beater when he is on form. Thank you guys for the stream. Everyone says, Brush, thank you for joining me, guys. Like I say, we try and keep it as positive as we can. We move. Hopefully, we get a win on Thursday and see some of the kids play. That would be nice as well. But yeah, 8:30 tonight. Go and check out Zeo on Twitch. As always, I'm there. Putting in my bars in the chat, and he quite often doesn't get them. They go over his head, but we try. We try. But yeah, go and check out his stream. And as always, if you want to, please hit a sub on Ladies in Red. Hit a like on the video. Apologies if I haven't read your comment. I've tried to get through as many as I can, but honestly, you wouldn't understand how my screen is looking right now. Everything is kind of merging into one. And when I put it on, like if I put that on, I can't see that. Like I can't see that. So I'm trying to memorize the comments before reading it. I don't know what's going on. I think Man United just broke my whole system, to be fair. But yeah, it is what it is. Look after yourselves, guys. I'm back on ECL tomorrow at 7 o'clock doing my FIFA 23 career mode. So if you want to see United scoring some goals and conceding some, I'm afraid to say, then come and join me there. But until then, look after yourselves. Come on, the ladies, later, and we will see you soon. I can't even end it. Where is it? Got it. See ya.